This evening, parents of Providence primary protest teachers' dismissal. Ministry of Public Health welcomes Peace Corps volunteers. Big upgrades coming for Mazaruni prison officers. Guyana awarded IDB loan for health sector development. In the region, in Jamaica, University of West Indies students voice concerns over living quarters. And internationally, half-brother of North Korean leader assassinated in Malaysia.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Granville Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with George Gonzalez.
Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel, as well as our website, safetvguyana.com. Join us. Parents of the students of Providence Primary School speak out against what they believe is the unfair dismissal of a longtime educator at the school. Here's more. This morning, parents of students attending Providence Primary School on the east bank of Demerara staged a protest action. They are calling for the removal of the current headmistress of the school after the longtime teacher, Sir Rodwell, was dismissed unexpectedly last week. This is according to one parent, Miss Feniza Peters.
When I left, I went around to Herstelling to ask some other parents if they know where was Sir Rodwell. That's when I heard that Sir Rodwell was dismissed from his job. And it was shocking to me that how he was dismissed because of misconduct. He don't want to teach the children. He neglect them. He was looking at faces. He was watching who was brighter than who, and that's a lie. I know Sir Rodwell for the past 12 years, coming 13 years, and my daughter write the exam right here under Sir Rodwell care in school, and my daughter got a very good school. My daughter was in the top 10.
Apparently, they were only told of his dismissal after he was not in attendance at the latest PTA meeting. The parents have been protesting since Monday of this week. Ms. Peters said that the dismissal of Sir Rodwell greatly upset parents and teachers of the school to the point that 42 students decided to leave the school. He is a well-known and liked figure in the area amongst teachers, parents, and students, often volunteering his time and money to educating all. He has even taught teachers at the school. This, according to another parent.
Them, when they gotta go to university, Rodwell teach the teacher 8, 9 o'clock in his school. My grandson write common entrance the last time. Out of 42, he was third in the school. If it was for Sir Rodwell, keep lessons opposite me over 3 years. He's there right now keeping lessons. These parents don't pay. They don't pay when you say, Rodwell, why you don't? Man, leave them on, there's children. That man take his own money out of his pocket, give school children if they don't have snack, if they don't have transportation, and he give them.
The parents questioned the headmistress's motives and the ability to do her job. Regardless, these parents are passionate about this teacher and they demand that he be reinstated as soon as possible.
She only come here for a couple months, she and meet a year, and Rodwell is here for 17 years. 17 years, and you tell me today so he's going to go stay without a job? She has 3 jobs. Rodwell doesn't have one today. He doesn't have one. And we're going to stand here until Rodwell reinstated. Or else we're going to stand here until rain or sun, we're going to protest.
A loan from the Inter-American Development Bank will see a project on maternal and child deaths reduced significantly in Region 9. Andrew Weeks reports.
In a report from the Government Information Agency stated that educational lectures, among others, have begun in the Upper Demerara, Upper Takotui Essequibo region to help in the reduction of child deaths. Last Friday, consultation works were conducted in Anai. There are 2 components of the project: community-based and consultations. This was alluded to by Dr. Tanisha Hamilton, Director of Maternal and Child Health.
We're looking at strengthening reproductive, maternal, and neonatal health services. It might sound like plenty things, but it's not. Reproduction has to do with getting your babies, and there are other aspects too, like planning your family, spacing the children well so that one child gets the best benefit. All of those encompass with reproductive health.
There will also be training of health workers, midwives, buying of medical equipment, and spreading the health messages in communities. Sidney Hollycock, Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, calling on villagers to support the project.
We need to plan better. We need to work towards getting the support for health, because if we are going to have a good life, a healthy environment leads to healthy people.
The Inter-American Development Bank $8 million loan will see 140 health facilities and 88 communities benefiting from this project across the country. Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Thanks, Andrew. This morning, the Ministry of Public Health welcomed 21 Peace Corps volunteers. They are expected to spend the next 2 years working at regional healthcare centers and clinics all throughout Guyana. The Peace Corps volunteers arrived on January 31st, and already they have spent the past 2 weeks in training on the west bank of Essequibo. The volunteers are not doctors, but each of them are professionals who are well accomplished in the field, ranging from nurses with years of experience to holders of bachelor's degrees in public health. This according to the Director of Programs and Training at Peace Corps Guyana, Melanie Ingalls.
They have studied some aspect of health. Some of them are professional nurses and they have a few years of nursing care. Others have their masters in public health and have looked at various larger sort of health promotion and campaign sorts of things within their academic career. Some have had experience with primary care facilities.
After this, the volunteers will undergo a 10-week training program. She also spoke of another volunteer program that also sends American doctors to healthcare centers throughout the nation.
We also have a second program called Peace Corps Response, where we bring in real healthcare professionals. And at the moment we have people teaching at UG in occupational therapy. We've had a speech therapist teaching there. So we bring in sort of 2 levels of skill ability and place them accordingly.
This year, the Peace Corps has sent a total of 38 volunteers working within Guyana in several critical public sectors, including healthcare and educational development. The Peace Corps has enjoyed a good relationship with the Guyanese government. The assistance of the Peace Corps over the past 22 years has had positive effects on the healthcare sector. Ingalls shares some of the details of the type of training that they receive in the Peace Corps.
Their training here is multifaceted. It's both about what it means to be a development professional in Peace Corps' sort of version of what that looks like, which is capacity building. And then their technical training now involves things like this day with the ministry, which is just so helpful for them to see how this works, who is running the show, and as they begin to read the newspapers and read about things, it all falls into context. So the training that they'll receive over the next 10 weeks is very important to getting them launched. They come back at 3 months for another week of training with their counterpart. They come back at a year, and they come back 3 months before they leave. So we have an ongoing program which is meant both to raise their skill level, help their counterparts also build their own skill level, and to have them keep thinking their way through what it means to be really useful and productive.
Best of luck to the Peace Corps volunteers. Coming up on Headline News after the break, big upgrades to come for officers at Mazaruni Prison, and President pushes for greater development of local government bodies.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
After 1 year since local government elections were held, the coalition government is not satisfied with the development at the local government level, says President David Granger. Andrew Weeks reports that even the opposition leader, Barrett Jagdeo, gives his reasons why his REOs, mayors, and chairmen did not support government's position on the state of affairs within the municipalities.
President David Granger, during his public interest show last week, said much more can be done at the municipal level.
No, I think that we could have moved a lot more quickly at the NDC level. And I'm very pleased with the performance of the mayors. But some things are happening in the regions which have not contributed much to the stabilization of local democracy. For example, you would recall that a few weeks ago the Ministry of Communities held a conference, and some of the persons who were in municipalities and regions controlled by the opposition party just boycotted it. There's no way to run the region or to run a municipality. So once you have that type of behavior, it is difficult for me to say I'm satisfied.
Opposition leader Barrett Jagdeo, during his most recent press conference at Freedom House, said the reason why 7 out of the 10 regions that have been won by the PPC are not in support of government's plans to develop the region's NRDCC is because of their imposition on the REOs, mayors, and NDC chairmen. He explains why.
The People's Progressive Party won outright 48 of the 71 areas contested and retired another 7. So that's almost 55. And APNU didn't win in the balance because there are some civil society groups that won. We won 7 of the 10 regions. So we're a central player in any arrangement for consultative body that will be created. We are not even consulted on this matter, and the elected officials were not consulted. So this is what happened. And so the president says we are engaged in civil war because people does not show up when he turns up to these regions or to the events. It's not civil war. He has to learn to respect the elected officials, and elected officials have no obligation to turn up when the president turns up. These people are working people.
President Granger is of the opinion that there is indeed a civil war on his government led by the PPC.
What we're seeing is resistance on purely political grounds. There's no justification for regional chairmen and members of the NDCs not showing up at these conferences. I've gone to some regions and the ministers, the regional chairman would never even come to say, hello, how are you doing, Mr. President? So there's a sort of civil war going on that's being conducted by the opposition. And that is what is undermining the local government system. It's not you can't make local government work when you have a significant partner or a significant member of the team, that is the opposition party, sabotaging the government and sabotaging the system at every turn. That's the problem. Sabotage.
Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Thanks, Andrew. A midday accident on Rupert Craig Highway caused heavy traffic along the East Coast. A pickup truck collided with a large cargo truck. The passenger of the truck cast the blame on the driver of the pickup truck.
Well, we were coming up this way to go to LBI there to collect some pipes for GWI, and all of a sudden this vehicle just came across into our lane and it knocked the back def out, the front def out straight out and kept underneath. The guy, I don't know what's went in his head.
The driver of the cargo truck was accompanied by officers to Sperrendam Police Station. The driver of the pickup truck was pinned inside of the vehicle. He was removed and taken to Georgetown Public Hospital in stable condition, while the passenger of the pickup truck declined to comment. Despite the dramatic scene, there were no fatalities. Government to build living quarters for prison officers at Mazaruni Prison, as it was a concern raised by the officers. Andrew Weeks reports that Minister of State and Cabinet Secretary Joseph Harmon made the announcement at post-cabinet media briefing last week.
Officers at the Mazaruni Prison will get government's help that will ensure their comfort and well-being meet the standard expected during their tour of duty. Cabinet Secretary Joseph Harmon explains.
When we visited with the President, Minister of Public Security and myself, we had a good opportunity to look at the conditions. And what we discovered was that the living quarters for those prison officers were in a deplorable state and needed attention. So what we find was that as soon as the prison officers were off of duty, they were finding their way, if they live in West Berbice or whatever it is, they're going home. And it cost them about $10,000 every time they have to travel.
Following the death of 17 inmates in a fatal fire at the Georgetown prison early last year, an inquiry which revealed serious overcrowding, government is to plug some $2.2 billion into expansion of the Mazaruni prisons to ease pressure on the Georgetown prison. $369 million is to be released in 2017 as the first tranche of that money will see the expansion of offices, inmate living facilities, staff and family living facilities, training facilities, as well as the construction of a school, daycare center, and places of worship. Finance Minister Winston Jordan had announced that in his budget of 2017 speech last year. It is to this end, Minister of State Joseph Harmon said the President was concerned. Minister Harmon went on to explain more of the challenges the officers are being faced with that will soon come to an end.
So if you look at the salary of a prison officer and the fact that he needs to go home to go and check with his family and so on, that the cost of traveling, we needed to do something to ensure that the conditions under which these officers live and work at the facility is improved. And so there are 3 lots which we are looking at. This, what I announced today was lot 1 and lot 2. And in these 2 lots, you have 9 residences. In the 3rd lot, we maybe have another 3. But the important thing is to ensure that we create a condition in that facility where the prison officers, they feel comfortable, they can work in a certain level of comfort, and that they don't have to think about running home every weekend. And so we'll have a better level of supervision of the inmates at the prison.
Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Thanks, Andrew. Still ahead, our regional and international news.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you have a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
In news from the region now, in Jamaica, there are more concerns from students from the University of the West Indies, Mona campus, as to how they are being treated at the new halls of residence. A developer hired by UWI in its private-public partnership arrangement concerning the contract for students' living quarters saw them objecting to the new arrangements. The Guild of Students held a town hall with the heads of the university to answer questions, but many of them left with more questions than answers. TVJ Primetime News, Giovanna Davis reports.
From contractual requirements, privacy on the new halls, and guild advocacy, or the lack thereof, a number of students at Jamaica's largest tertiary institution, the UWI Mona, expressed their displeasure about the university's arrangement with 138 student living at a town hall meeting at the university. We were not allowed to record the meeting, but students expressed several concerns. The 51-week year-long contract that students are still required to sign to live on the Leslie Robinson Hall, a clause that the principal told TVJ News was changed.
That was the case, but we have changed that. We have changed it. The students no longer are forced into a 51-week. We changed that quickly.
But on Thursday, the principal conceded that it is still a requirement and that he thought 138 had changed that clause. He assured students that the school administration will have the clause changed. The same assurance was given 2 years ago. Philip Yap, one of the first students to live on the new hall, showed us a petition signed by more than 240 students who lived on the hall from as far back as December 2015. He says the majority of the overseas students at the time had also signed the petition, pleading with UWI to change the arrangements with 138.
A lot of what is happening now in the media is not the first that the university has heard about it. From the inception of the hall in 2015, the first set of students, which includes myself, came up with a petition to challenge the contract year, which was a 51-week contract, even though school is for 9 months, and to also challenge the cost of rent, which was then 47,000 and change.
Other students expressed concern about privacy.
Privacy is the main one for me because I was in my room sleeping one day and one of the 138 workers, she just opened the door and she came right in, and then when she saw me on the bed, she went back out and said that to someone like, oh, I didn't know someone was in there, and then she knocked after. And I'm saying that if I have a room, I should be able to have privacy there. So if you're coming to my room, the courtesy is for you to knock, and she didn't do that. They just have the right to just barge into your room. And I'm saying if I was undressed or something, what would have happened then?
In response, the principal said students should report the issue to the hall student services manager and then campus services manager and then the deputy principal if they feel the matter isn't resolved. We asked if they were satisfied with what the principal had said during the town hall.
So the questions are being asked, but he's going around the questions. He's not answering the questions directly.
Several students were very critical of the Guild of Students.
I understand it has to be a partnership between the university and the guild, but what I've realized even while I serve is that when issues are raised, you will be given a nice sugar-coated answer, right, to soothe you and calm you down at the moment. If you allow that to happen, right, and not take action even when you are given certain sugar-coated answers, you're going to land in a position that we are today where the guild is seen as a mere extension of administration.
But the guild president insisted that they are fighting for students, while the principal said the arrangements will benefit students in the long run. Giovanni Dennis, TVJ News.
And internationally, a female suspect has been arrested in Malaysia in connection with the death of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's half-brother. Local police said that the woman was arrested at the airport in the capital of Kuala Lumpur, where Kim Jong-nam was targeted in an apparent poisoning on Monday. She was in possession of a Vietnamese travel document. BBC News reports.
Is this one of the female assassins who carried out an audacious attack in KL airport? Malaysian police say that a Vietnamese woman has been detained as part of the investigation into the alleged assassination of this man, Kim Jong-nam, the estranged half-brother of North Korea's reclusive leader, Kim Jong-un. At one point, Mr. Jong-nam was being groomed to succeed his father as the next leader of North Korea, but he fell out of favor and has been living in exile ever since. How he may have died in KL airport, though, is still unclear. The facts in this case are murky, to say the least. There are a number of varying, multiple accounts of what happened, but here's what we do know. Between the hours of 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday, the man believed to be Kim Jong-nam was attacked in this crowded, busy airport. Police say that he was accosted by at least one woman who covered his face with a cloth filled with some sort of burning chemical. After that, he is thought to have walked over to that information counter over there to ask for help. And then he was taken to a medical clinic at the airport, just one floor down. But how could an attack of this nature take place in broad daylight, in the middle of this airport? I asked a number of people who work here, but no one was willing to comment.
What source that you should go for information right now is the police, because they are the only one that can give any the updates about the investigation. But we are not allowed to see anything, because that's how it works here in Malaysia.
South Korea, though, insists the man who died was Kim Jong-nam, brutally murdered on the orders of the North Korean regime.
The government is certainly judging that the murdered person is Kim Jong-nam. Since this case is still being investigated, we should wait for details until the Malaysian government makes an announcement.
The focus of the investigation will now move to KL Hospital, where the body of the man believed to be Kim Jong-nam is being autopsied. Malaysia says it can't confirm his identity or the cause of death until the post-mortem is released, which may not happen for another day. Karishma Vaswani, BBC News, Kuala Lumpur.
And that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook, YouTube, and SafeTVGuyana.com. You can also tune in at 6:30 tomorrow morning for a rebroadcast, and tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock for more news. For now, I'm George Gonzalez, signing out from this newscast. Thank you for welcoming us into your homes, and do have a blessed evening.